Here's Rodney Marsh. Good goal!
Rodney's rant on goal time. Priceless.
Welcome back to Rodney's Rants here on Goal Time. We're looking ahead to another big weekend in the Premier League, and we're looking at two big games. Manchester City against Queen's Park Rangers, and Chelsea, the newly crowned champions, against Liverpool. Rodney, first of all, Manchester City versus Queen's Park Rangers. It's obviously a game that is probably of greater significance to yourself because you've played for both of these two clubs. QPR could be relegated if they lose to City. It's obviously a big ask for them to get anything from the Etihad. Do you see them coming away with any sort of a result?
No, I think as much as I've loved to have said this over the last 6 weeks, I've always said that I thought QPR would get out of it. QPR have been nothing short of diabolical over the course of the season. Only had a few really good results, over the long haul, and without Charlie Austin, they would have been relegated weeks and weeks ago. I don't see QPR going to Manchester City and getting anything at all. The only thing that they've got in their favour is if Man City have a really off day. But I can't see that. I can't see them not being at the races. They're going for that second spot, aren't they? Yeah. So but I do see goals in this one. I do see goals. When Man City play, up until last week when I had a 5-goal thriller that ended up being 1-0 and got that completely wrong at Spurs. But when City play, they always get amongst the goals, and usually always get amongst the goals. QPR have scored recently away from home. At West Brom they scored, I think it was 4. And
they scored, did. They won 4-1
at Sunderland as well. Yeah. So they have been scoring away from home, QPR. So I see them nicking a goal, but I'm going to go 3-1 Man City. So that'll be a 4-goal game, this one.
And again, plenty of opportunities for goal time to get the bets in for plenty of goals at either end. Manchester City's defence sometimes has been a little bit susceptible this season, but with Sergio Aguero in your side, as he proved last week as the match winner, when they've got someone like Aguero, who maybe has had a bit of a hit and miss season at times, maybe because of injuries more so than anything else, when someone as good as Aguero's in your team, you know that you're always got an opportunity to score goals, haven't you?
That's right, and Aguero is my favourite player, and even though I think he scored over 20 goals this season, he's still, by his standards, he's not been at his best. So, he's a wonderful player. Last week, Spurs could have had 3 goals in the first half easily against Man City. They missed their chances. And with Aguero, as you say, Aguero's always likely to get a goal or two. So, I do see it as being loads of goals in this game. But I think in the end, Man City will have way too much for Queen's Park Rangers.
And do you think City will do enough to finish second overall this season ahead of Arsenal?
I do. I think the City from now on will go at it. I think Arsenal, as well, though, are in a great vein of form. Electric Sanchez, as I call him, he's come back to life and looks ever so lively, and they've got players all over the park. Cazorla in midfield, Rams is back to his best again, and they just scored. Ozil's actually playing well, so Arsenal will be there or thereabouts. But I'm going to go for City to nick it and nip into that second place.
And what about Queen's Park Rangers if they are relegated this weekend? Do you think that will be the end of Chris Ramsey in charge of them, or will they stick with him if they're down in the Championship next season?
I think Queen's Park Rangers will stick with Chris Ramsey no matter what. That's my view on that one. But I do think that if Queen's Park Rangers do get relegated, and at the moment they're 100 to 1 on to get relegated, so if they do, I think QPR will either lose or dump between 10 and 15 players, which is a massive turnover of players. And they'll be fighting again for the playoffs in the Championship next year should they get relegated.
Okay, finally we'll just look at the game between Chelsea and Liverpool. Chelsea, of course, crowned champions last weekend. Liverpool are going to give them a guard of honour in the match, but it means more to Liverpool in many ways because they do still have that slight chance of getting into the top four. Do you think Chelsea will take their foot off the gas after winning the title last week, or will it be a convincing home win, on a title party afternoon for Chelsea?
Well, that's a very good question because Jose Mourinho is one of the most enigmatic characters and managers in football we've ever seen. He does things that are totally unexpected. For instance, what will his first team be at the start of the game? What will his system be? How many players will he take off to get standing ovations? And so on and so on and so on. So all those things add to the mix when you're talking about Jose Mourinho. Liverpool, of course, have got to win to get into that European spot, but Chelsea are already champions. It's a very difficult game to call. I don't see Liverpool, all things being equal, I don't see Liverpool winning, but Chelsea I don't think will be flying particularly. We saw last week when they won it that they do enough and they're efficient, and Hazard, the player of the year, of course, is a magnificent player. I think Chelsea will win. I'm going to go 2-1.
You said earlier we were talking about Manchester United. Do you think is there still a glimmer of a chance for Liverpool to get that fourth spot, or do you think it's Manchester United to throw away?
There's always a mathematical glimmer because we saw last year of the massive game that Chelsea-Liverpool ended up being at Anfield. And what a massive game that was when it turned the season on its head. So it's still possible for Liverpool to overtake Manchester United. I don't see it. And I think this game will probably put the nail into that coffin.
Okay, thanks, Rodney. We'll speak to you again next week on Goal Time when looking ahead to the second legs in the Champions League semi-finals.